So, the ancient Britons, folks, the Celts, knew about the springs. And in fact, they settled around it. They built a community around this natural source of water coming out of the ground. When the Romans came to this country, it wasn't long before they discovered the natural springs, and the Romans, being Romans, who were great engineers, built quite a nice bath and temple complex over, the springs themselves, and that's what we see, if you want to go inside the Roman baths. The Celts called this place Sulis. Sulis was the Celtic god of healing, and the Romans have always tended to include the local deities within their own. So the Romans, the Roman god for healing and health was Minerva. So they combined the two, and they called it Sulis Minerva, or Aqua Sulis Minerva, the water of the healing gods. Anyway, folks, the Romans were only here for about 400 years. They reckon it was in the year 410 that they started to abandon this country. They abandoned London and all the other Roman cities that they built here, and the Roman Empire basically collapsed and retracted further east. The centre of administration for the Roman Empire moved further east from Rome to what was known as Constantinople. That was during the time of Emperor Constantine. Constantinople is modern-day Istanbul, as we know it today. So basically, the Roman Empire sort of retracted, and they abandoned this country, and indeed the bath complex slowly silted over, and eventually just disappeared, under the silt and under the rubbish and everything else that was probably put on top of it. The Anglo-Saxons, when they came here, weren't particularly interested in the baths. Different breed, the Anglo-Saxons. The Romans were very hygienic. They loved their bathing. For them it was an opportunity to socialise and do business, while they were, sitting in the steam rooms and the hot rooms. But the Saxons didn't really care too much for it. And, eventually over time the whole thing just disappeared underground. And it wasn't until the 1880s when it was actually rediscovered. And then since then, people have been coming here consequently, on a regular basis to come and see, this Roman achievement, in the fact that they built these baths. And the baths basically are underground, below the current street level. And it's what we're saying. So the Anglo-Saxons folks, when they were here, they did live here, and they settled around the baths themselves. They built a market town for themselves here. Quite a prosperous, market town. And they eventually built themselves an abbey here. During the Saxon time in our history, this country was divided into several kingdoms. Mercia, Northumbria, Wessex, and Sussex, and East Anglia, and so on. These were Anglo-Saxon regions, and each region had its own king, or warlord, as they really were in those days, but they were known as kingdoms. The Vikings, the Danes and the Norwegians were constantly invading this country, and eventually the Saxon kingdoms became one in the year 973, and that's when the Saxons decided that the country should have one king and not several. And the first king of all united Saxon England was King Edgar, and King Edgar was crowned here in Bath, in what would have been the old Bath Abbey, which is gone. The Saxon Abbey was destroyed, and then the Normans, when they came here in 1066, they built themselves an abbey here as well, which also fell into ruin. Work began in the 15th century to restore the Norman Abbey, but Henry VIII, folks, when he was our king, dissolved the monasteries, the dissolution as it's called, mainly because he couldn't get a divorce from his wife, and he separated England from the Roman Catholic Church, and he confiscated all religious institutions and properties, the monasteries and the churches and so on, and he robbed them of all their treasures, including Bath Abbey. And so the work that was intended to restore it basically was put on hold, basically. Eventually Henry died in 1547, and then slowly but surely the monasteries and the churches started to re-emerge. And it was during the time of his second daughter's reign, that was Queen Elizabeth I, when work began on restoring Bath Abbey. And eventually it was fully restored by the year 1611, and that's the Abbey that we see today. And it's worth popping into. It's right next to the entrance to the Roman Bath complex in Bath Abbey Churchyard. Right, we'll see that. It's free of charge to go in there, folks. They call it the Lantern of the West because of all the, the light that comes through the stained glass windows. It is quite impressive, I've got to say. So there's that to see, folks. Of course, don't forget the Roman baths. I mean, you're quite free, if you like, just to do your own thing, you know, when we are here. You know, we're going to have 3.5 hours, as I say, so, you know, why not just, you know, walk around and do your own thing, you know, why not? You don't have to sort of stick with us or go into the baths. What I normally do on this tour too is, as I mentioned before, I put on a little walk. You know, we go and look at some of the architecture of the city. And the architecture of Bath that we see today was really down to one man, or two men really. John Wood, who was an architect in the early 1700s, and his son, who was also named John Wood, John Wood the Younger. And they built the city that we see today. And there's a couple of you know, jewels, you know, in the architecture of Bath that you should see. Queen Square, which is based on a typical sort of London square. You know, in London we got those lovely little garden squares. And then there's a place called the Circus, which is a circular street, which was built by John Wood, and he had a taste for the Romanesque style of architecture. You know, the sort of the Colosseum, you know, style, circular style, and that's worth seeing. And then after that, there's the Crescent, or the Royal Crescent, as it's probably known. That's the half circle. And it's quite a nice little walk. You know, it takes about 45 minutes to go and see these things. It is a bit of an uphill walk to start with. Good thing is it's downhill on the way back. But if you'd like to do that, you know, come join us for the walk, which probably about 3 o'clock outside the Roman Bath entrance. That's the time I normally meet people there. I say 3 o'clock. If you want to come to the walk, meet us there at 3, and we'll go for a little walk. And of course, as I say, you don't have to if you don't want to. Otherwise, you know, there's nice little art galleries in Bath. There's nice little boutiques, you know, and they make amazing fudge here. I don't know if you like fudge, but the Bath fudge is the best you'll ever have. It's probably not the best thing to eat, to be honest, because it's very sweet, but it's absolutely delicious, right? And you can actually watch them making it too. And there's a little shop near the entrance to the Roman Bath complex where you can buy the fudge. You sort of buy it by the lump, and they weigh it, and then you pay, you know, depending on